friends. Every single week we come before you, we come to you. I always say to your home, your cars, oh gosh, anywhere you at, we want to be part of that. We want to be there to share really some great concepts about money, life, and everything else. And of course, we believe that leisure time is definitely part of the money discussion, because what good it is to pile in up a lot of money, to save up a lot of money, and then not enjoy life. Because at the end of the day, we all know that we are here for a season, and then when the time comes, you do need to have build some memories with your friends, family, and also even by yourself. So I am so excited because one of the things that I like to do is travel. And we're gonna have a discussion about that and why is it important to be part of that, fun thing of traveling. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my friends who are on tonight. I have a very a friend from college, and I have a very dear friend here, and I would like to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we're gonna dive into this excited and great conversation about why travel matters. So why don't we start with Fabienne? Fabienne, why don't you introduce yourself quickly, and then we can go ahead and have Karen introduce herself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you again, Gabby, for having me here today. And to present myself, I am Fabienne Janitan. I am a mother. I work in healthcare. I'm a healthcare social worker. And also part-time, I am also a travel agent, which I do on my own time. And I love to travel, which is why I'm here tonight.
Yes, and you are an amazing woman.
Thank you so much. And
yes.
So are you.
Yes, and Karen, do let them know how long you've known me.
Hi, my name is Karen Praval, and I've known Gabrielle for more than 13 years. We went to grad school together, and we've kept in contact, just different business connections and just as a friend doing different things. I am a town accountant, and my days and my weeks are constantly working, just putting in 50, 60 hours. So the most important thing to me in my life aren't fancy cars or clothes or designer glasses, is traveling. And I live to travel. If somebody said to you, would you rather have $1 million house or would you rather have $1 million to travel? I take the $1 million to travel any day. So I'm here. I'm happy to have been asked to join this program tonight, and I can't wait to share some of my experiences, local traveling to different countries, and hopefully that will get people excited, about me, leaving the house and getting out and seeing the world, looking and being able to really experience other different cultures. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
Thank you, Karen. I know every single time I'm calling Karen, where are you? Oh, I'm someplace else. And she's having fun. And I've never heard of any traveler saying like, oh, I hated the fact that I went away. Just like you said, I would rather have $1 million worth of travel vouchers than going for $1 million house. So yeah, I know, Karen, you've been everywhere. And Fabienne, you've traveled extensively and as a travel agent. So can we share a little bit about our favorite place to travel, if you have places? Or maybe a recent story about a recent travel that you've had, trip that you've taken.
I will say one of my favorite trip, it was a girls trip. It was all ladies trip, where we went to the other side of the world. That's what I want to say it. That was the first time I was leaving America and I was going to a different continent. So we actually traveled to Paris. And I've always wanted to go there. And we also went to Barcelona. This was the most freeing experience as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, where it felt like I was free like a bird. And if you see those pictures, I was literally flying. That's how it felt like. I had wings. I felt so free. I felt so independent, so strong. And I felt like I was living my best life, like we will say it. So this to me, and those women I traveled with also were amazing women. amazing friends. So it was such a beautiful thing to be able to connect after so many years. That was a successful trip for sure.
Yeah, it's good to travel with amazing women and amazing people,
Yeah.
because we know when you are in close corners with people, it can get very difficult and stressful. So yes, Karen, do tell. I know you've been everywhere. What's your favorite place to go?
I'd say my favorite place that I've traveled to is Dubai.
Really?
And
That's
when I travel with my son. He's now 13 years old, and since he's been a year old, he has traveled with me his entire life. Excuse me for 1 minute.
mhm.
Hey, how you doing?
Karen is actually at work. She's such a great friend. She was like, Gabrielle, I really want to be part of this show. So I am gonna be on while I'm at work, and hopefully no interruption. But you know what? Life happens. And that's one of the things I believe that really helps you get a sense of like flexibility and a sense of confidence. When you are a world traveler, you let it do what it do.
Yeah,
Basically,
true.
because when you go into other countries, right? Like she was saying, Dubai. Let me tell you, that's the least favorite place for me.
Oh, really? You've been there? I haven't been there yet. And I mean, last year I had a group of friends. Like I actually put together that trip. There was a group of 15 ladies. I mean, there were 16 ladies, and they were traveling to Dubai, and I put the trip together. It was such an excitement for me to put it together, because the whole thing, I became a travel agent because I wanted to travel more. I wanted to find ways to travel more. That piqued my interest. So the opportunity presented itself, and I was like, that's a great time for me to join in, and I did. And so far, I haven't regretted one day that I did, because since I became a travel agent, I've been traveling a lot more than I've ever been in the past. And also it was for me to share that opportunity with other people.
Correct.
With my busy life, I know I don't market myself as much, but I do have a lot of clients actually, because whenever I plan a trip and people travel, a group of 16, and they come back to me, and more people keep on coming. So I've been working, doing this, and it has been such an awesome experience, an amazing opportunity to help people create some wonderful memories of a lifetime. And I'm so grateful I'm able to be part of that process with them.
Yeah, definitely. To me, that's an awesome thing to be doing. Yeah, Karen, welcome back. I know you're always so busy. She does that even when she's on the phone with me. Gabrielle, I'll call you back. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry about that. So just going back to Dubai, you know, a lot of people think you have to have hundreds and thousands of dollars to travel. And I would say that I don't go through a travel agent, because I try to find things on my own that can fit my budget. So a lot of times I'll go on Travelocity, or I'll go on Expedia, and I'll look at, you know, the different hotels, or look at the different areas. I'll go on TripAdvisors, and just to really get an understanding of what there is to do. So I'll look and I'll say, what can you do in these different areas? So going to Dubai, I took my parents actually, and my son, I wanted them to really experience another culture. And my mother, you know, a lot of times, you know, my parents were afraid, oh, we're going to the Middle East. You know, as I'm looking at different reports, there's a lot of information that you hear on social media isn't always like that. So when we went to Dubai, it was a great experience. You know, with the Muslim culture, you know, a lot of the women had to cover up. So as an American going to this country, we were just respectful, and we had shawls, and making sure that we were dressed kind of appropriate, but it's not something where we had to change and completely cover up. We couldn't go out at night. We went to sand dunes. So just being in those SUVs, and there's bars on each side, and they deflate the tires as they go onto the sand dunes. So they're going, the sand dunes are hundreds of feet, you know, with the sand. So then we went to the desert. We had a cookout. There were different shows just talking about the culture. And of course, in Dubai, there's lots of shopping. All you shoppers out there that like to shop, Dubai is your place to go to. They have New Dubai and they have Old Dubai. Old Dubai is an old fishing village, and it's not as developed, but we weren't able to get to Old Dubai because we decided to stay in New Dubai. But as we were taking some of the boats, I wish we had gone into that fishing village just to see what that area was like while we stayed there.
So Karen, I think it's always good when you go to overseas that you get to experience the real culture. Because I'm glad you said that, because you have the window dressing. When you come to certain places, it's like nice and fancy, just like when you come to Boston, right? If you stay in downtown or in front of the waterfront, hang in Boston only, you think in Boston is one-dimensional. And then you come outside of Boston and you go to other communities. So I know you have so much to share, Karen, and Fabienne too. I would like to find out, how has traveling changed you as a person, or even your perspective about the world and the people around you?
I can answer that question. If you like, I can go first. I'd say that it's changed me because I can look at people and I can understand and just have empathy, and I can look at different things in life through a different lens. And, my son, who's been traveling with me for the last 13 years, he's been to Barbados more than 10 times. My family is originally from Barbados. He's been to St. Lucia. He's been to Paris twice. He's been to Spain, and he also has gone to Dubai and, multiple states in the United States. And I think that for him, he really understands how much we have, and he appreciates the hard work, and he understands that in order to travel, in order to do things, and to get outside of your element and to be exposed to areas that you may never have seen, you need to get a good education. Having an education is key to being able to move forward and to really appreciate going to different countries, going to different states, and seeing how people live. I've been to South America, I ran track for several years in college. So, during my track years, I was able to see a lot of different countries. When I was in Brazil, it was very, very poor. And when I was in Argentina, you see children coming to you and asking for penny, and that penny you would think was $1 million. Just signing somebody that would take pictures of us. This is when I went to the Pan Am Games, running for the United States, just to take a picture of somebody that had a United States track uniform on. It brought tears to these families, and it was just. We would wake up in the morning at a hotel and we'd go outside and we'd see 3 or 4 children, 4 years old, 8 years old, families. We were in Sao Paulo, busy streets like downtown New York, Broadway. It's like being downtown. And on one side, you have these fancy malls and Macy's. And then on the same sidewalk, you have a family in a tent made of cardboard asking for money with their entire family. I'm not talking, people that are on the streets, maybe they have a drug addiction, but families just due to poverty and not having, sitting on the same side of the street, people riding their bikes on the expressway. And this was in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. We got off the airport and the people were riding the bikes. They didn't have access to cars. So when I think about what I have here, do I want that Mercedes-Benz? Yes. Do I have to, just get by with a Honda or a Toyota or something that's not as extravagant? I do that because I'm able to reflect and see what other people don't have and how they have to use their bike in the rain and the cold and the snow and the hot, just to get somewhere, to get to work. So that's how it has affected me and, my travels and how, I look at things differently.
Yeah, I think it's important, to also, you see how fortunate you are here, especially if you've been educated and have been able to do some traveling. But, how has traveling changed you, Fabienne, in terms of maybe your perspective, your perception, or ideas that you had about different cultures? Because I know one time when I was in college, I ended up we had a class, and it was a class that I took in China. So, went there for over a month, and when I came back, I was talking to a friend. I said, "Oh, I just came back from China," and they're like, "Oh, what was it? Was it dirty?" And I was like, "No, not everywhere, because just like America, you have the wealthy, the super wealthy, and you have the very poor. That's just how it is all over the world. Some have, and some do not. So, I mean, how has traveling changed your perspective about humanity?
Well, definitely traveling had made me, I mean, coming from, from where I come from Haiti. So I migrated here. Already I had an idea of, the poverty that we have in the world. It's like, because I am from Haiti, that is kind of a third world country, I will say. So coming here in the United States, already had lived this, but traveling had really expanded my mind as far as being more understanding, accepting people, understanding people's different culture, different ways, different food, respecting people's history. It has been all that for me. So that's why I like to say I'm a citizen of the world in a sense, because I'm not bound to one genre. Like music, I'm very open to music. I listen to all kinds of music, even if I don't understand the language, but I can relate, I can understand people's culture. I can understand people's differences. So that had made me more human, I will say.
Yeah.
Because I can connect to people on a deeper level.
Correct.
As opposed to someone who's not traveling really and who's not seeing the world and is confined in their little space, their little bubble. They have a smaller, smaller chance to really understand others and being open to others.
Yeah.
So
frame
that's
of reference. The traveling helps with your frame of reference
Of course.
being able to see the world differently in people, because I was at a concert with my sister and this guy came up and he's speaking, right? He's like, "Who knows my accent?" And I immediately knew, because I had been to that country. And he's like, "How many of you have been to my country?" Well, around us, myself and my sister.
Yeah.
We were the only two. And I was like, "Oh." And then the lady next to me, who was sitting next to me, she was like, "Oh, really? You've been there?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "How was it?" So I started to talk to her. So it really helps you to make friends, like, we say the show, Let's Talk Money with Friends, right? Like, how much more conversation do you have when you actually had experiences outside of your comfort zone? So going back again to Karen, and I know you have kids too, Fabienne, like, would you encourage your kids to start traveling early? Because I have a friend and she was like, "Gabrielle, I'm so glad when I was younger, I went and traveled, because now that I have kids, it's expensive, it's difficult, and I cannot do it as much." So would you encourage your kids? I know you've already done it, but parents who are struggling with the idea of letting their kids go, they're at a certain age and they want to do some things, they want to experience the world. And because some of the parents haven't been as haven't traveled as extensive as you, Karen, or you, Fabienne, they're apprehensive. They want to hold on to their kids here, especially in the light of what's going on out right now in the world. So would you encourage kids, your children, especially, the teenagers, to get up and go?
I definitely will encourage children and teenagers to travel, because I think that it broadens your horizon, and it shows you so many different areas in life that you may not even be accustomed to or even knew existed. If you're constantly just staying in your house and you're watching TV, you go to the movies, you come home, you don't know what else is out there. I love the outdoors, and as we talk about going to different countries and going to different islands, it can be expensive. So these are things that you have to plan for. So I want to talk about a little bit about traveling with children locally. And things that you can do. And so I enjoy the outdoors. So something that I do with my son is we go hiking, we go to the Blue Hills, we go bike riding. And when we go bike riding, we'll go bike riding in different areas in the city. We may go down to Chinatown. We may bike, you know, down near Seaport. We may bike near the canal down near the Cape, you know, stop off and have an ice cream cone. But just being able to be around nature, I think, is something that it just feels good. It makes you feel at peace. And during COVID, you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, we're stuck in the house. What do? We can't go out. We can't go to the movies. We can't go roller skating. And so what we did is we went to Vermont and we went on the Alpine slides. It wasn't that expensive. We were in Vermont. We were in an area that we had never been before. And so we experienced taking a chairlift. You know, we don't,
Yeah. We did
know,
that too. My family, we did that too. We went to New Hampshire to the Lakeside View. I don't know if you know that. I was gonna bring that up. We do that every year now. It's a family tradition that we've been practicing, which is a lot of fun for the kids.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's so many treasures in New Hampshire. So and we went to Vermont, so there are different alpine slides in Vermont and New Hampshire. You can look it up online. But during COVID, the last year, it was Labor Day. Some of my family, we were nervous about going away, but we ended up going to Quechee, Vermont. And the landscape and the cliffs and just so many things of the outdoor nature that you normally wouldn't see, we saw there. And it was a great, we had a really wonderful time. We met some really nice people and we had a chance to just be together in an area where we were able to explore. We went on nature trails, we went on hikes. We looked at things that were local, that were inexpensive. We went to different zoos, we went to different museums. And I think that what's really fun is there's these mom and pop restaurants that have great pancakes and bacon and fresh maple, you know, Vermont and Maine syrup. And so just being able to taste the different cuisines. And my son, he loves just the scenery. You know, as you're driving to these different parts of New Hampshire, you see rivers, you see tubing, you get out, you can put your foot in the river. You know, you may be able to bring a fishing rod and throw your fishing rod in and catch something. But it's something that we don't normally experience here that is breathtaking. And with that, he wants to go other places. And another thing I just wanted to add, and you know, with traveling with children outside of the country, you tend to want to learn another language. So my son, you know, he's really interested, you know, in learning Spanish. He's interested in learning French. He wants to learn German because he wants to be able to understand and communicate with people from different countries. So as he meets people in school and he meets people in different activities and different programs that speak different languages, and they talk about, you know, whether their family have immigrated from different regions, he's able to communicate and have a conversation with them about an area where they lived, where they may not know anyone, and, you know, they may not know anyone in the school that traveled to their country. So having someone to talk to and someone they can connect with has been really beneficial and rewarding for my son. You know, and he's 13 and he's been doing this since he was a year old. So, you know, it can be just, you know, you're
right, Karen. Karen, you are so right, because I think, you know, you talk about being able to make friends. Like I can make friends with anybody because of the fact that
really?
I've been exposed. You remember, Karen, you met me at the school. I was like, oh, Karen Praval, are you Haitian? You're like, no, I was married to one, or I'm married to one, or something like that. So it's just like being able to make friends, and it does build confidence, you know, in young people. And, you know, you said that, you know, your family has started a tradition of traveling to Maine or New Hampshire, because, you know, I was born in Haiti, and even in Haiti, you know, I've been to several places in Haiti. Like my father used to take us to, my family, we used to go to Tigua, Léogâne, Jacmel. I've been to Cap-Haïtien. I've been to so many places, even in Haiti as a child. And, you know, of course, overseas when you were little. But at the end of the day, when you are able to explore and go different places, it does build a sense of, oh, I can do anything. And
get away from the resort. Get away from the resort. Experience the land with the natives. Don't go to another island and ask for a hamburger.
Yeah, I know. Eat the nudge. So yeah, can you share a little bit about why you would encourage your kids? I know you have a couple and some stepkids too. Like, it's very important for you to encourage children to travel.
Yes, it is very important because then, as I said, that makes them more relatable. They can
Mhm.
relate more to other people. They can be um, more connected to their sense of humanity, which is very important
Yes.
because we're lacking a lot of that. So like my older kids now, they started traveling, as soon as now they're working, because I do have twins that are 20
Mhm.
years old, like they're gonna turn 21 and they're going to Puerto Rico for their birthday. So
Great.
so to them very early on, they understand the practice, the idea of wanting to travel. My oldest went to Greece with his school, and early on when he was little, way back when I was in Haiti, we started traveling to DR at first because I understand as very early on that traveling was very important, connecting to other people, connecting and then when I do travel, I like to go and actually talk to the local. Like last time we went to the Bahamas and I met this wonderful lady. We really connected. Like, she talked to me about her family, about her history, what she's been doing, and the culture there and all that. And there's so much beauty into this. We took pictures like with best friend over there. So I do like when I travel to connect with the people
Yeah.
of the area to really get to know them.
And with
Because
social
only
media, you
then,
can stay connected, right? With
I
social
can,
media,
I
you
want
can
to
stay
add
connected.
something to what you were saying, Fabian, about Bahamas. So when I was in the Bahamas, right before you go to what is it? I want to say Fantasy Island, but it's not Fantasy Island. It's where the Atlantis is. And
Atlantis, yep.
it's on the other side of the
area.
bridge. But
Mhm.
under the bridge, they sell fresh conch. And I was with my parents. And my mom said, "Oh my goodness, are they gonna wash their hands? It doesn't look too clean. I don't think you should eat it because you might get sick."
Yeah.
And I said, "But I want to try and I want to experience the culture." And so they took the conch out of the water, the shell, the ones that you can put up to your ear. People don't know what a conch shell is, and you can hear, the ocean. They pulled that sucker out and they cut it up with tomatoes, fresh tomatoes and hot peppers and jalapenos and an onion. And I sat there and I ate it and it was delicious. And guess what? I didn't get sick.
Yeah.
So if my son to this day, he's like, "I want to go, I want to try this, I want to have this, I want to experience this, I want the coconut from the tree. I don't
because
want,
you know why,
I don't want
Karen?
soda."
Because traveling make you adventurous.
Yes,
That's
I want sugar cane. I don't want candy. I want sugar cane. He came home and
Yeah,
asked me,
yeah.
"Can you get
I'm glad you said that
no
because
way."
traveling does make you adventurous, and
It does.
so we talked about it briefly, and I know this is like a fun show for me because I can only think about some of the great things that have happened to me because of my experience with traveling. And also friends that I've made, now with social media, you can actually stay connected.
Yeah.
It's funny when I go away, sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want to don't tag me, don't tag me in pictures because I don't necessarily want to like blast all that on social media, but being able to stay connected with WhatsApp. I have people that I met along the way with WhatsApp. I've stayed connected with them and chat with them periodically. So have you talked about this lady from the Bahamas. Anybody else you met and that you still connected with?
Yeah, when I went to Cancun, we had this tour guide we was traveling with who was driving us around to everywhere. We stay connected with. So it's like, when are you guys coming back to Cancun? Usually I do like to connect to those people, and WhatsApp now is a great way to stay connected. So of course I have all those numbers on my WhatsApp. Only thing though, I do say when I travel, I like to be cautious too, because you have to be aware. So let's say when I connect with like that tour guide that was driving us everywhere, I definitely send the phone number, everything. I took a picture And I sent to my family and I'm like, hey, just in case I'm gonna be,
Yeah.
but so far it has been amazing time, and God
Yeah.
had blessed wonderful people my way and no regrets. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So Karen, you mentioned that, I think maybe our last question that you said that, we talking about travel again, because this is summertime and I have a school behind me and I already hear the kids getting ready for the summer vacation because this was their last day. And I believe it's their last day today. And, they always have a party when it's the last day of school. And it's the time for families. I know for me, summer has always been the time that we get excited because
yeah,
mother used to travel a lot, and that was the only time that she would take us overseas with her. So I get excited, but I know that for some people, again, it's expensive. It's very expensive. And as a travel agent, how do you travel on a budget? What are some of the tips that you could give to some? I mean, you already mentioned some of it, Karen, but
Yes.
tips that you could share, Fabian.
So
Karen brought up an important point. The important point is that you don't necessarily have to get on a plane and fly somewhere to be on vacation. You can create your vacation. You can create your escape whenever you want to, right where you are. You can create times and create memories and all that. But when I became a travel agent, one thing I've learned, it's like everything in life, it's about planification. Some people do have the money in their bank account, they purchase their ticket, they go. Some people have to really plan on their vacation. And if you do plan, whenever you set a goal, you plan, you will make it happen.
Correct.
There's no way around it. And to know that you're able to plan a vacation within 2 years ahead. You know, you can plan a vacation, start planning a vacation now. We're in 2022 for 2024. So let's say even if you cannot travel every year, but you can start by traveling every other year. And before you know it, you're spending money in other things that are not like me. I'm like at the beginning of the show, we talk about it. It's about, to me, it's about collecting memories and not things. So I will invest money. I will make a payment plan. I will pay towards that vacation because at the end of the day, the gratification that I get in living, because life is about living. If you're unable to live that life, then to me, it's not worth it. Even with all the monies that even with all the money that you have, if you have money somewhere and you're unable to live your life now that you have, should be grateful for this life. You should be able to live it too. So it's about planification. That's the key to me. Planification. Everybody can take a vacation.
Now, I noticed that some people are opting for Airbnbs versus hotels, or they're going as a group versus by them, like you do a group travel instead of by yourself. We have something coming up. I know we talked about it. PF, an amazing group of women that I'm part of. And I know we have a trip coming up. It's a national trip, but it's in Orlando, and you've already collected deposits.
Yeah. So we are part of this amazing group of women called PF. That's for Positivity Ladies, Positivité Féminine. And we are actually a group who've been around. It's kind of going to be our 5th anniversary this year. So this is major, this is big. We are within communities right now, different localities of communities. Like we have one in Boston, one in New York, one in Canada, one in Paris. We have communities, different places. So this is gonna be major for us this October, where all of us will be able to be together as a group and meet each other. Because a lot of us have been communicating on Facebook, really, and we haven't been able to meet each other. So this is gonna be this is going to be our premiere, where we're gonna have this amazing convention gala that's going to be in Orlando, Florida, from October 6th to October 9th. So if you want to join us, you are welcome to join. It's going to be an amazing time. So much going to happen there. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, it's going to be epic. And So I wanted to thank you again, ladies, for being on the show, because this show is about talking about money. We know that you need a budget, you need to save money in order to do anything in this world, right? Including traveling. And we've shared so many things here. You know, we shared so many great ideas about what you can do to really get out there and explore, because lived experiences much better than sitting at a classroom and trying to learn. Children and adults, everybody needs to go out and learn. And so, Karen, last word. What would you encourage someone who's sitting at home right now and saying, like, you know what, I cannot afford to travel, I cannot do this, but I really like what she just said about, you know, I'd rather have $1 million worth of travel than $1 million house. What would you encourage that person?
So I'm always on a budget. And I probably can say I've traveled places and I had a budget of $400 and enjoyed. I just want to go to different places. So what I do is when I go to the islands, I go to Barbados, I'll stay in a hotel that's an apartment. And so it has a stove. And so instead of going to the restaurants every day, you know, I'm at the supermarket buying, you know, breakfast, cereal for breakfast. And then I spend my money, instead of taking the tours, I find out where the tours are and all the different activities on the island, and then we'll take a cab, or we'll get on the, usually we'll get on the, because we can't afford the cab because we're on a budget, we'll find the bus route and get on the local bus during the day and find where these different activities are that everyone's paying, you know, $200, $300, $400 for. And so that's how I'm able to travel, especially with my son, to these different countries. We usually plan one trip a year. And I would say locally, you know, when we don't travel every year overseas, but locally we'll go to George's Island. It's a ferry that leaves from Seaport, and it's usually, it could be $10. Sometimes children are $5. We'll go to Block Island. Block Island, you can rent a bike. We'll take the ferry that's $12 from Martha, you know, to Martha's Vineyard. And then when we're in the vineyard, we can go and we can look at all the different stores. And there's a great donut place there. We can get donuts and ice cream. You can rent a bike, you know, and these are costs that are well under $50. So I think that, you know, traveling, whether it's going to the Charles River and going kayaking, might be $20 for the hour, but that hour of sitting on Charles River with your child kayaking are all different things that you can enjoy and feel like you're away from your element of being in the house and really enjoy nature. You can go to the Blue Hills. It doesn't cost anything. And there's 4 or 5 different types of trails. And when you get to the top of the observatory, there's a store. Great. Now the kids can buy something. Maybe they want to buy a windmill or buy something that's related to science. So you're teaching them. So those are some of the things that I do. I look online and I go to all the festivals, because there are a lot of festivals. There was an African festival that was at South Station. There's a food truck festival. And I look to see on the calendar what events are coming up in the area. We drive there. You know, the strawberry festival, you kids can go and they can pick strawberries. You know, pick as many strawberries you want for $20, or blueberry festivals. There are things that are not that far. You know, if you don't have transportation, if you don't have a car, you can take the train, you can take the commuter rail. But they're activities that will expose yourself and your children to things that you normally wouldn't have been doing while you're sitting in the house playing, you know, video games or watching TV. Definitely. So those are some of the things that I do, you know, and try to save the buck.
Yeah, definitely. I had 2 nieces with me for a number of years, a little over a year. And every single weekend they had something going on. None of that TV flipping to because I don't have a TV at home, so they didn't have the opportunity to flip to TV channels. It's just like always out. So basically, in essence, what we are encouraging families to do and individuals to do is go ahead, travel locally, travel nationally, and travel internationally. Because when you do that, you are expanding your horizons, and also you have an opportunity to have some really lived experiences. Because at the end of the day, again, education, the best education is, you know, live experience. So go out and do it. It's the summertime. Find something local, find something national, or find something international.
I had one more thing to add, Gabby. So if you go online, a lot of communities now, a lot of people don't know that they have outdoor movies and they're free. And they have them in different areas within Massachusetts. So if you
Correct.
go online, you can look at the free outdoor movies. They have popcorn. It's usually sponsored by Verizon or a cell phone company. So they give you popcorn. They'll give you glasses. Sometimes they'll give you hats. And sometimes the movies are in the well, they're obviously in the evening time, but they're in the winter. They're all year round. But those are things, if you Google, free movies in Massachusetts, then you'll see the different events that you can go to with your whole family. You pile them in the car, and then they can come. They can take their chairs out, and they can watch the movie, and it's free. And then you're not spending any money, but you're having a chance to get out of the house and do something.
Do something.
With your family.
Definitely. Get out of the house and do something and go explore. Get to know your neighbors who are from a different country. That's another way to travel without having to go away. Because when you get a chance to have dinner with someone who's from another country, you get to experience a different culture. So yeah, definitely. We just wanted to have this conversation again because
So you invited me over for dinner?
Travel matters. Yes. You've had my food. Travel matters. Definitely. We want to encourage you to do it. I cannot wait to have my fun time this summer. Actually, it's going to be in October with Fabienne and all the fun
looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to other other activities that I'm going to be doing this summer. So enjoy your summer, have fun, and we'll be back next week with another great show. I had a couple friends, new friends actually, because I'm like making friends. And they're like, oh, we want to have a new show about investment and different shows. So I'm excited about the shows, but you better believe it. I'll be doing some of those shows away from here because I'll be trying to do something outside of my home. So thank you so much for your time. Please tag, share, make a comment, and let your friends know that every single Wednesday there's a very educational, a great show that's on. And we want them to be part of it. We want them to share their ideas, and we want them to continue to be part of this community. So thank you.
Thank you, Gabrielle.